Welcome and a very warm welcome to the AMEC International Summit in Amsterdam. And it really is an international summit. We've got 240 people. It's a full house. We expect a few more later on. And sound is coming back from 36 countries. We are lucky to have great speakers this morning. Very excited about that. So let me first of all thank the people who make the summit happen for us, which is the sponsors. Next slide, please. So please join me in thanking them for supporting the summit. As a non-profit organization, sponsor support is vital to us. Twitter interest has been building over the last few days, and I hope you'll join the conversation at AMEC, at #AMEC Summit this morning. You can track what's happening also through our Twitter board created by AMEC member Impact Research from India. Let me first welcome onto the stage our headline sponsor of the summit, Jeroen Scholten. Please come up.
Thank you very much, Barry. Goedemorgen, hartelijk welkom in Amsterdam. Good morning, welcome in Amsterdam. It's a great privilege to welcome you in our hometown, the city where we, the people of Publistad, live and work. It was a year ago when Barry asked us to become headline sponsor and to help bringing the summit to Amsterdam. Of course, this was a no-brainer. We immediately became enthusiastic. We are the only full member of AMEC in the Netherlands, and we feel that it's our mission to grab these kind of opportunities to educate the industry in our country. As the French say, noblesse oblige. We are the biggest media research company in the Netherlands. We provide tailor-made monitoring and analysis services. We work for high-demanding clients such as ING, Heineken, and the European Parliament. We are very proud that according to the Dutch government, we are the best, as they tested several providers during a European tender. We would love to learn more from you and work more with you. We strongly believe that the increasing demand for international monitoring is best served by cooperation of local champions. For now, the most important thing is that you enjoy the summit and the city. We love to help you. Of course, most of our 30 analysts are working for clients now, but 6 of them are here. And they are wearing blue shirts with the Publistad logo. And if you have any questions or need any help, please ask them. You can ask them anything as long as it's legal, but that's a lot in Amsterdam. Some of you asked me yesterday to learn a few Dutch words. Well, maybe you could learn a little from President Obama, who was here recently for another important summit, the Nuclear Security Summit. After his visit, he thanked the Dutch people for their hospitality by saying, "It has been truly gezellig." He really touched our hearts because the word gezellig summarizes a lot of positive feelings, mostly used in the context of friends and family. So this will be my personal mission for this summit, to learn you the true meaning of the word gezellig. I will spell the word for you on Twitter, so you could study on it and exercise the pronunciation. And I hope in 2 days' time you will all say, "It has been truly gezellig." Thank you all.
For our next introduction, I'd like to welcome on stage David Rokhlin, Ketchum partner, and for the last 2 years, international chairman of AMEC. Great chairman, David.
Great, thank you. And thank all of you for being here. Barry sort of underscored it or really didn't, or buried the headline, maybe is the better word. This is the biggest summit we've ever had. It's also the year we've converted from being the European Summit of Measurement, which is what it was called for its first 5 years, to now the International Summit on Measurement. And that's truly a reflection of the 36 countries that are represented here in this room, and really the stature of this event and how that's grown over time. What this event is also a lot about is about innovation and about collaboration and knowledge sharing. And so this morning, we're really pleased to launch Amex Social Media Measurement Guide. It's something I hope all of you will get a chance to take a look at. It's really based on the work of the Social Media Measurement Committee that Richard Bagnall, who I hope is somewhere in this room. Richard, thank you. And Richard's workshop tomorrow, Workshop G, will go into much greater detail about this guide, but it's a great example of both innovation and then also the industry coming together to set standards about how you approach the important subject of social media measurement. But a good question might be, how did we get to this topic of this summit? Why are we talking about from measurement to insights? And for those of you who were in Madrid last year, you might remember this slide, and this was from Marty Marston at IKEA. And what she said was, you know, I make this table here on the left of this slide. This is a very simple, straightforward table. You guys make the stuff on the right side of this slide. I don't understand it. And an easy answer is to go, well, you know, Marty's one of those PR people. They're not really very good at math. And so that's why they like the simple stuff. But the reality is that really wasn't what Marty was saying. What Marty was saying is that in a sea of data, you need to help me understand what's the insight, what's the meaning. How do I take all this information and distill it down to something that's meaningful and important to my business? And a question that really then arises is how do you know you've got an insight? Like, what exactly is an insight? How does that differ from an unsight, let's say? Or how does that differ from just a data finding? We do know that insights give a huge advantage to our businesses and to our clients and to how communications programming is done. And the question is, though, how do we go from data and analytics and measurement, which have really been the subject of these summits over the last 6 years, to really today's subject, which is what is an insight and how do we get there? And so to provide a little hint, and to use my favorite statue, actually, in the entire world, because I think it is named after me, actually. You know, when Michelangelo was asked, how did you create the Statue of David there in Florence? And he said, I started with this big piece of marble, and I took away everything that wasn't this statue, and I was left with one of the most beautiful statues in the world. So the question what we're going to answer here for the next 2 days is really, how do you do what Michelangelo did? How do we take the information and the data and the analysis that many of our companies produce and really distill it down into an insight, a simple human truth that helps our clients, helps our businesses, if you will, guide communications programming, both in terms of what's worked in the past and also how do we predict what's going to work in the future. So that's our topic for the next 2 days. I thank you very much again for being here, and let me turn this back to our CEO, Barry Legater.
Thank you, David. Thank you.